Hello everybody, that's here. Very happy to see all of you on the other side of the screen. Some of you may remember that I reviewed about a year ago a newly released core distribution plates from Alphacool, and at that moment it was like 6 models available, which essentially was a 2 form factors, one 240 and one is 360, which is basically correspond to the size of a radiator, but in form of reservoir and pump combo in our case. And we have like 6 variations, which basically was pump included, pump not included, and pump on one side or pump on other side, and also ports can be here or there. So basically it was like 2 models with 3 versions for each model. So since then a few other models was released, but I didn't talk about it because something like 120mm size, the like little one, or 140mm size of reservoir, it's nothing special. A lot of other manufacturers making those, so it was like, okay, business as usual, typical stuff. But in December, and specifically in CIS as well, it was a couple large models was introduced, which I think is worthwhile talking about. While a lot of customers, especially in Europe, like small type of the builds, North America, US and Canada will love large cases, and essentially so far, at least as I know, the largest possible distribution plate could be something like 360mm. I'm not even sure if 420 was available from other manufacturers or not, but I definitely never heard about a massive distribution plate, universal distribution plates that can fit any case on not some specific case that is made of is 480. So you can see, so essentially we have a radiator, we have a reservoir now, which is the size of a quad radiator. So if you have a massive case and don't like to have an empty space inside of it, so we have the largest possible universal Distroplates, which is released in the market at this point. Again, correct me if I'm wrong and somebody else already making it, but as I'm aware, Alphacool is the only option so far. So the same as the previous models, we have again the option. It could be pump included. It's always D5 pump with the core models. It can be clone, like right here. So we have Alphacool VBP pump, which is essentially a clone of D5, same form factor, but totally different mechanically. And also it's kind of not plasticky body with its metal, so it's kind of look a little bit better. Single cable coming out, not mustard colors or anything like this. So some people default for this pump just because it looks so good, but essentially it's not necessary that you go with Alphacool pump. Any D5 pump model will fit. You actually can go even a fancy versions such as Aqua Computer. It's exactly what I have on my skeleton build, and you saw pictures of it. So any D5 pump will fit, and you can purchase this type of the distribution plates with pump, without pump, and also the same as models that we discussed before. The pump can be on this side or on this side, and they call them right and left models. And correspondingly, if pump is get moved, the ports also get moved. Why it's done is because where this reservoir and pump combo is located. If it's located, let's say, parallel to motherboard, so motherboard is right here where my face is, so essentially it makes sense that we kind of have ports closer to the motherboard, and it just minimize your tube rounds. But if let's say we want it in the front of the case, in this case location of the ports here, the plumbing will be hitting motherboard and memory, and so it's on the way, so it makes sense to move it towards the front of the case while moving pump towards the bottom, like deeper into the case. So right and left depends how you actually plumbing your system and where the reservoir pump combo located. And as well we have now 420 model, which is equivalent not quad radiator, it's equivalent of triple radiator, but very wide. And if your case support 420mm radiator, here you go. You can have this one mounted directly to the case, or with provided hardware it can be mounted on top of the radiator with a special spacer, so radiator still can breathe and you don't obstruct any air. Also a couple other models was released, which I'm not showing here, but it's dual 140mm equivalent of reservoir pump combo. this is a 280. So 280 and other models that was just recently released, but it was available on the market previously, so again, nothing special. But 480, oh my gosh, this is the biggest pump reservoir combo I held in my hands, which is absolutely universal and not necessary needs to be a link to any particular case model. So this is totally awesome. I'm pretty sure that a lot of guys who love big cases, which I also belong to that group, will absolutely love this kind of products. If you're the kind of the guy who wants distribution plates, again, this is another thing that can be different for different people. Some people like tubular reservoirs, like myself. Again, so again, this is all I wanted to give you some hints about a big variety of Alphacool core distribution plates now available, anything from 120 all the way to 480 and 420. Thank you very much for watching. See you soon.